If you're wondering if you're not eating enough to lose weight, I'm gonna talk about how this could perhaps be true, but probably not in the way you think. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm gonna help clear up this confusion and make sure you can finally get to a place where you can lose the weight you're after. Hey, this is Colin DeWaay. So if you like this type of video, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button below because this sends me a strong signal that this is the type of video you like, so I know to make more. Now there's one thing you probably heard before, and perhaps that's what brought you to this video, and that's this whole theory behind starvation mode. And I'm here to tell you that starvation mode, first of all, doesn't exist. When people say things like starvation mode means that your body gets used to there being no calories and then just makes you gain weight even though you're eating the same amount, that doesn't happen. And if anybody doesn't agree with that, just look at the Minnesota starvation study and look at these people and tell me that they gained weight because they weren't eating enough food. No, you don't just start gaining weight because you're not eating enough. It doesn't work that way. What does happen is you go through periods of starvation, then go through bouts of overeating after that, and then gain weight from that. But if you were to just eat, say, the same amount of food, like only eat around like 600 calories a day, and you just kept doing that, what's gonna happen is your body's gonna slow down its metabolism, and you're gonna get to a point where this now becomes your new maintenance. But if you keep eating that same amount, now you're eventually just gonna start maintaining at that weight. You wouldn't start gaining on it, it's just your body gets used to that. One thing people don't seem to understand about maintenance calories is it's a moving target. You don't have one set maintenance calories that is always the case. And this is because of what I just talked about. Your metabolism does slow down. It adapts to whatever you do. Your hormones, they change from dieting. And the longer and more aggressively you do this, the greater the adaptations become. And this is why it can become so difficult to lose weight, especially if you have a long history of dieting, especially extreme yo-yo dieting. So with all that said, what does that mean for eating more to lose weight, like the title of this video? So here's the thing. You can start eating more now, and in the long run, it can help you lose weight. What it doesn't mean is if you start eating more now, you're gonna start losing weight now. That's a big misconception. Now, is it possible? Does this happen in some rare instances? Yes. There's a lot of reasons for this. It's not something you should expect. And I find a lot of time the reason people lose weight when they increase calories is because now they start becoming more consistent. Before they might have had lower calorie targets, but they were eating those lower calorie targets a few days a week, and then a few days a week eating way above them, going through different binging cycles and way overdoing it, and therefore their actual consumed calories were much higher than those low calorie targets. Now by increasing your calorie target, it becomes easier to achieve and you start consistently hitting that, and therefore actually eating less total calories than on the lower calorie targets from before. Now you start losing weight because you're actually in a deficit. And there's some other factors too. I'm not gonna go into great detail on this in this video. I have a video I'm gonna hand you off to at the end that goes into more reasons why sometimes people increase calories and actually lose weight. But again, not something you should expect. The reason increasing calories can help you lose weight is what it does in the long term. If you're on low calories, you're adapted, you're stuck and not sure what to do, now what you do is you go through something called a reverse diet, where you gradually increase your calories over time to help get your maintenance calories back up. Remember how I just talked about how your maintenance calories reduce as you lose weight? Well, it increases as you increase calories. So if you take your time bringing those calories up and getting them higher, eventually your body will start to adapt to those higher calories, put you back in a position where you can more effectively drop your calories again and start losing weight again. But this is something that takes time. A lot of people rush into this. You have to be very patient with this and not rush the process, because if you just start working your calories up and then just immediately slash them, your body hasn't had time to adapt to them yet and your body still won't respond. So you need to take plenty of time. Again, I have tons of videos on how long to reverse diet. I'll put one of them in the description below. But this is how eating more calories helps you lose weight. It's a big picture thing. It's not of instant right now. And I know that's hard to hear, especially if you want to lose weight right now and you're concerned about gaining weight. It's one of these things where you have to just stop and go, okay, like I have to think big picture. Rushing the process has never worked. It's something that I've done my whole life. It's only done nothing but make me go backwards. I need to switch my way of thinking. And it's a good opportunity too to look past body image and body weight and start working on things like your relationship with food and like your body image and all those things, because it's just really hard to do that if you're just constantly dieting all the time and putting so much pressure on the way you look or how much you weigh or anything else that really has no bearing on what type of person you are. I'm not saying we shouldn't try to live healthy lifestyles. Absolutely, it's important. But one of the more undervalued parts of a reverse diet is the ability to improve your relationship with body image and things like that. Now, I will say this. One thing you could try before jumping into a full-blown reverse diet, if you just really want to try to make a push for fat loss here, is, especially if you're being consistent already. If you're not being consistent already, I mean, that's first things first. It's like, okay, dial everything in and make sure you're being consistent. And then if you're still not able to lose, but you haven't been taking any sort of breaks and you've just been pounding the dieting, only reducing calories all the time, doing more cardio, and just never giving the body a break, you could take a couple week diet break where you increase your calories by a bit, reduce your cardio some, and just give the body a reason to back off. Now, in theory, this is where we eat around maintenance calories, and like I said, your maintenance calories is a moving target, so if you're not losing weight, that's technically your maintenance calories, but sometimes going 200, 300, maybe 400 calories, it kind of just depends on a lot of different factors, above what you're eating, that can kind of upregulate things and your body can kind of back off with self-defense against starvation, which is kind of the slowdowns in metabolism. That's what it is. It's trying to protect it from losing too much fat and basically starving to death. So you could take this period of a couple of weeks, come back, see if your body will start responding again. Sometimes that will happen. If you do that and come back and you can't lose, now it's time to start the reverse diet and think big picture. Now, what are some signs that you've been too low calorie for too long and it's time to switch phases? We'll look for signs like extreme food focus, extreme hunger, you're just exhausted all the time, have no drive to do anything, libido tanks, you find yourself cold all the time, or especially if you just find yourself extra irritable, especially if that's something that's not typical for you, that's a pretty good sign your body's fighting you hard and it's time to shift focus. Then once you do go through the process of getting your metabolism back in a better place and setting yourself up for success, it's important to remember you don't want to drop your calories too fast right away. Even if you don't need to reverse and you just feel like it's time to lose weight right now, just don't go so extreme right away. Again, because of how adaptive the metabolism is. So if you just drop your calories to like rock bottom right away, sure, you'll lose weight quickly. First things first, you have to understand that a lot of that weight loss isn't even body fat, which is what we care about, especially in the earlier stages if you go very low carb like a lot of people do, and that's part of what makes these super low carb calorie diets appeasing to people is because you lose weight so fast, but a lot of that is just reduced glycogen and water and not actually body fat. And then the faster you lose weight, the more likely you are to lose lean body mass, which is not what you want to do. That also hurts your metabolism, not to mention body composition. And what inevitably happens is your body adapts to this. Now you're stuck. Now you have no room to make adjustments to keep the process working. So you want to eat as many calories as possible while doing as little cardio as possible, while seeing reasonable results, so that when your body makes these adaptations and it can no longer lose, you can make some smaller adjustments to get the process working again. So while you may lose less in the early stages, you're gonna lose much more in the long run, and those who play the long game are the ones who eventually win instead of getting stuck in the rat race. I'm telling you, having patience is one of the most important things with creating a sustainable lifestyle that gives you the results you want. I told you that there was a video that talks about reverse dieting and why some people lose weight, and it also goes over what you can do to give yourself the best chance possible of losing to, or at least minimizing fat gain as much as possible through the reverse. So if that interests you, check out this top video next and I'll walk you through it all. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead. And I'll see you in one of those other videos.